Hello and welcome back to In Touch with Alma Duckins. And here we have a surprise guest, and it's Jay Goodwill Pierre. He's a vice president of the National Bar Association. Hello, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Hello, Alma. Thank you for having me on the show today.
Good. You're a guest of mine, a friend of mine, but you're also a guest of Barbara, who is launching her show. It's Your Right.
That's great.
So tell me a little bit about what you do, Goodwill.
Well, I'm a lawyer. I'm licensed here in Texas. I'm an actual licensed patent attorney. I started out in patent and intellectual property, but primarily for the last, 15 or 16 years, I've done small business development, assisted businesses, especially small minority businesses, and helping them understand opportunities they have in Houston to get business. I've also done a lot of civil rights, voter rights, election law, anything that's typically needed to help individuals understand their rights and understanding how to access their right.
Okay. And I met Goodwill some years ago doing community service for an NAACP AXO competition. He was one of the judges in my competition. And I know you forgot about that, but it's been some time ago. So I have a little bit of history with both of you. And again, ran into Goodwill a little time ago. A few months ago, over at Little Audrey Safe Place, he did some more community service. He did a function called Omelets for Orphans for us to raise money. So Barbara, tell me a little bit about how you met Mr. Goodwill and what you know about Goodwill.
Mr. Goodwill Pierre is everywhere. He is the man in Houston. If you really want to know what's going on in the legal community, call Pierre. He knows who to get in contact with. He's going to be one of my, he doesn't know it yet, but he's going to be one of my go-to people when there's an area, when someone calls in and I don't have the answer. Pierre is going to be one of my point persons that I'll be calling to say, Pierre, I need this person that's in patent law. I know you're busy, because Pierre is the vice president of the National Bar Association. This man is really, he's just phenomenal. I
know, he's almost like the fly job. I can't keep up with him. I've never seen anybody just, he's in more cities in a week than I've been in probably in almost a year. But however, Goodwill, tell us a little bit about your journey to the national.
Well, I want to first start out to understand that my passion is really the community, and the titles, the National Bar, along with the other organizations I'm involved with, 100 Black Men, my fraternity, Omega Psi Phi, my Masonic chapter, all those organizations are just vehicles in which I can either help the community or empower those individuals around me to assist the community. I think my gifts, at least I've come to the conclusion that my gifts is connecting, bringing people together, and so I surround myself with extremely smart people, Barbara being one of them, you, and somehow able to find where there's a need in the community, and people just trust me and they follow me to just provide those things that people need in the community. And so with the National Bar, I'm running for president of the National Bar because since 1925, when it was founded in Iowa, of all places, the National Bar its sole purpose was to help those individuals, non-lawyers as well as lawyers, understand their rights and protect them from, especially at that time, all kinds of Jim Crow laws, things that stopped them from voting, inequities in hiring, gender equities, of course, in hiring, and a lot of other things in which to this day and still affects us as a people. Those low income, those individuals who are tossed out, forgotten in the community, regardless of race, we're there to help. And most organizations like the NAACP, Lawyers Community and Civil Rights Under the Law, the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, those organizations have used lawyers from the National Bar Association in order to fulfill their mission to help. So really the National Bar has always been that collective body which actually puts boots on the ground to assist those individuals who need help in the legal front.
Okay, so with saying that, I know that I've looked at quite a few of your pictures, and you have a very impressive resume. And he's a praying attorney, so for me, that means more than anything. When you have an attorney that is that believes in a higher power, whatever that higher power may be for that person, and you go in knowing that if nothing else, he's putting that higher power first, and he's going to guide them, and I've seen him in action.
Listen, I'm telling you, this past Saturday, I had the honor to be with Mr. Pierre.
Oh, wow.
He gave a men's prayer breakfast for lawyers. I just thought that was so fantastic to get together a group of lawyers that pray together and honor God. And that was just a marvelous spectacle to watch, to be present, to be in the midst of praying men, lawyers. And it was something that Pierre organized, he put together, and like he says, he is the go-to, the point man, and I'm going to use him. He's definitely going to be a part of the show. He's going to be coming on and talking about the rights of others because, like I said, too often people come into that courtroom not knowing that they have the right to have a lawyer present. They have the right not to have an officer just walk up to them and search their car when they're stopped. And we so often give up those vital rights.
Okay. Well, I know that my son had the pleasure of being in both of your presence over the weekend, and he talks about it continuously, and I see little posts that says, you know, Attorney J. Goodwill Pierre, I'm not going to let you down. So not only is he there for legal purposes, he's also a great mentor for young men, and we need that. Our community needs the 100 black men of America, and we need the black MBAs, or we need just black men to step up for us. And I can say to you again, some 15 years ago, when I first met Goodwill, he's one of those guys. So I know that he's going to be an asset to our community and to your show. I really hope that he plug in to It's Your Right, because again, one of those resources that we're going to need for our young adults is to know the rights that they have. I work with a ton of young adults, and they need that. They need to know.
Well, one of the things that some of your viewers might want to know is, you know, you mentioned about the National Bar, and I was running for president. What is the added value? Why should they be concerned about an organization, National Bar, and they're not lawyers? Well, the reason why this is so critical for those non-lawyers is that the National Bar Association, being the organization it is to set the agenda and the policy and to help everyone, what you'll do if I'm president, what you'll have is a person from Houston setting the agenda for pro bono and legal assistance around the country.
Oh, wow.
And so the things that I've done in Houston before I even thought about even running for any office in National Bar, whether it be the Foreclosure Prevention Act, classes, workshops that I've had for everyone, whether it is to talk about intellectual property, the small business type things. When Hurricane Katrina came, I created the State Bar of Texas Disaster Release Task Force. I actually called, I started, and so we went out as lawyers and educated you know, everyday citizens who either came from Louisiana or Mississippi or who are currently felt effects of disaster from a hurricane or national disaster. We helped them understand their rights, how to access to insurance, how to file an appeal, and we did this pro bono whenever it was voting rights. So all the things that you've seen me over the past 15 years, this is going to be echoed nationwide.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to lead that and lead attorneys. And so in essence, and one of the new things I'm going to start that has been very dear to me is human trafficking, especially sex trafficking, women and men. And so one of the things, and they often think that those people who bring that have to be affected by that in some way, shape, or form. You know, there's a need. My heart just goes out to individuals, men, women, children, who are brought from other countries and who are used and put out in the street and exploited sexually. And it just hurts my heart. And really, in being involved in your nonprofit, Alma, has brought that to my attention, where I've already linked up with individuals and agencies, and that's going to be an added agenda item that I'm going to participate and get the lawyers to understand, because we're out of touch. And there's so many ills, and I know that we cannot address and attack all the ills of America, but as many as I can to empower lawyers all over the country to help those people who can't help themselves. That's my whole goal in life. If I would die just doing that, then I would have been happy in life.
So to assume, go on, Barbara.
What I was going to say, that's why it's so important that the lawyers here in our community, the Houston community, get involved with the National Bar Association. We need to go to Atlanta, that's where the bar is going to be, and get involved. And we're going to get Pierre elected as president so that he can come back to Houston and echo all of these things that he talked about today. We want him to be our next president. It would be such an honor and a pleasure to have a Houstonian to be the president of the National Bar Association, because it's going to be good for the whole United States.
Well, with that being said, how can we become involved with helping the election process? Is there anything that we can do as a community, not being an attorney?
You know, I get so excited. You know, I think one, you got to understand that the non-lawyers, when they go on Facebook or and they like my page, or when they send messages and everything of that nature, the lawyers see that and they follow. And I think that's exciting. When I had my kickoff, the majority of donations I received were from non-lawyers.
Okay.
It was very exciting and very surprising. You know, the individuals I touch and everything like that, if we had the community to support echoing, it's just like your legislator or anybody else, you know, the people listen. So those individuals who vote, the lawyers, are going to hear the cries and everything from the non-lawyers, and they will respond accordingly.
Okay, wonderful. So here we have again Barbara Hudson. She's launching her show, It's Your Right. Also, we have here attorney J. Goodwood Pierre, who's running for the National Bar Association president.
Right.
Who's actually the vice president. We have two stellar persons here in our city that's going to be assisting us with giving legal representation or legal information so that we can have proper representation. Please contact our station so that we can get the information for both of them.
Yeah.
And again, you know, I thank you so much for being a part of my first show, and that's In Touch with Alma Duckins. And stay right there. We'll be right back.